Gracias. Alright, I will say good Erev Shabbos, good Chodesh. What else? Baruch Hashem Tiriot learning Rebbe's Torah. Erev Shabbos for Chodesh Sivan. Mamish, an incredible zuchos. Steve, who are our sponsors for tonight?
Sponsors Chaim's Hero, his wife, stepfather, Avram Landsman, Avram Ben earlier this week.
Shamash Haben Aliyah. Amen.
William Rosenthal, exclusive to Safe Return to the Chassidus.
Amen.
And Shmuel Pepper, is sponsoring in honor of his brother Yisrael Pepper and in honor of his son's upcoming bar mitzvah.
Mazel tov. Welcome to the Bar Mitzvah Bacher who is joining us tonight. Baruch Hashem, all should be with Mazel this Shabbos. You should be Zocha to enter in to the ranks of Klal Yisrael and Mirz Hashem. Do your part, contribute your chelek, and may HaKadosh Baruch Hu get nachas from you together with your parents. Amen.
Amen. John Cameron has twisted my arm. We have to raise money for the ice machines. So we want to see ice moving forward.
Is that what it is?
Put it on the loading dock and unplug it.
Yes, tremendous tonight. So I'll say, what is Chassidus Baruch Hashem Rosh Chodesh Sivan? So many incredible things happen for a Kabbalah Satorah, Yom Tov of Shavuos. It is, we mamish need a month of Nisim V'Niflos, right? Who would have thought again that, on one hand, the Rosh Chodesh brings with it so much excitement and so many possibilities, but the truth is, there's also like a certain element of fatigue. Can't believe that our hostages are still not home, that our soldiers are still waging battle on multiple fronts. It's hard to believe. We thought that this would be over already. We thought that we'd be celebrating already. We thought that this Yom Tiv would be shalim and complete. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu has different plans, and part of what it means to be a Yid is that at the end of the day, we have to follow HaKadosh Baruch Hu's plans. Eibon Shalom doesn't work on our timetable. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't work with our cheshbonos, but rather, again, we work with His. And we believe in Him, and we love Him, and we know that everything that HaKadosh Baruch Hu does is l'tova. In some way, somehow, even these overwhelming times, and even these difficult circumstances, Mirz Hashem, somehow, some way, will be for the benefit of Klal Yisrael, for the benefit of our brothers and sisters, for the benefit of us, and hallelujah, we should just be Zocha, Mirz Hashem. That feeling of fatigue, it's not just 8 months of fatigue, it's 2,000 years. It's 2,000 years of fatigue. It's 2,000 years of just waiting. And then, of course, the Yid, we never just wait. We don't just wait. We're always doing while we're waiting, right? You know, the difference is, in that we read on the Haftorah on the first day of Rosh Hashanah, we read the story of Sisera. Sisera fell in battle with Barak and Devorah. And the Pasuk says that Sisera, the mother of Sisera, so the Pasuk says that she waited. She waited by the windowsill. Lama Boshe Shrichvo Lava. Why is my son's chariot not coming? I often thought to myself that there lies the difference between the Yid and the nations of the world. The nations of the world, when they are faced with uncertainty, they wait for resolution of the doubt. Klal Yisrael, when in difficult times faced with uncertainty, we act. We don't wait by the window waiting for Mashiach to come. We don't wait by the window waiting for Geula. But rather, again, we long, we wait, we yearn, but at the same time we act, we do, we perform. That's the greatness of our people. Never will you find, that's why, what's the greatest Aveira? What's the greatest Aveira that a Yid could ever commit? The greatest Aveira?
Not doing it.
Chil Hashem. The truth is, Chil Hashem, at least you're doing something. Something even worse, something bad, something worse than Chil Hashem is being idle. It's being idle. Right? Bittelzman. Just like not doing anything. At least if you're doing something wrong, there's energy that's being expended. So if you're expending energy, that means, okay, you have energy, you have koach. So now all I have to do is rechannel it and turn it around. But Yoshev Ubatel, you sit, you do nothing. You sit, you look out the window, you sit and you wait. Ein aver gedol mizo. It's a chavra like, we're supposed to be happy on Rosh Hashanah, but the truth is, like there's a little bit of pain, and there's a little bit of difficulty that my heart is not complete with joy, even though it should be on this Erev Shabbos. What else? It's Erev Shabbos, it's Rosh Chodesh, it's everything coming together. But yet, how can I not be heartbroken for my brothers and sisters? And how can I not be heartbroken for all the families who suffered loss? But okay, we don't sit and we don't cry, we don't sit and we're not idle. Rather, again, we sit and we do, we sit, we accomplish, we sit, we learn. And more than that, tonight, Baruch Hashem, we get to have the opportunity that our neshamas are going to dance with our Rebbe, and the neshamas are going to dance with the Piazetzna. I will say what is chosed is Baruch Hashem, that as we ready ourselves, because we don't wait, but as we ready ourselves for Mashiach, that Mirz Hashem, what is chosed is Baruch Hashem, that we get to do so in Torah the Piazetzna. So let's begin. We're picking up on page Shin Lamed Gimel, Sheleg, like the pasuk says. What's the pasuk? I forgot the first part of the pasuk. Kasheleg Yalbinu. Something in Chatoim. Okay, it'll come. Kasheleg Yalbinu. Right. What is it in Chatoim? Is Yadim? Okay. The last part of the pasuk is Kasheleg Yalbinu. Because Baruch Hu says, no matter how much you mess yourself up with averos, and no matter how much I sully myself or dirty myself with averos, Kasheleg Baruch Hu says, I'll make you as white. I'll make you as pure as snow. So we're on page Shalek, page Shin Lamed Gimel. It's a good sign. Section Yud Gimel. Both say, let's begin. Let's begin. Betach Shaman. Both say, this, by the way, I just want to tell you, Yud Gimel and Yud Daled, just get ready. We should have bought more bottles for tonight. I'm telling you. Oh, there is more. Okay, good. They're like break in case of emergency. I'm steaming my back up. Some people have defibrillators in the shul. We have extra scotch. Right? That's I got it. This is a reserve. So let's listen to these pieces. Yud Gimel. Betach Shamata. We'll say this, by the way, is incredible. Betach Shamata Ora Isa. Basfarim Amitzias Alokis. Piagetson says, I'm sure you've come across it, you've read some Sfarim that speak about or that try to prove the existence of God. Right? So I'll say, this is not a new phenomenon. It's interesting, right? So you for sure heard about Sfarim that speak about the existence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that try to prove the existence of God from scientific theory, from all kinds of things. Okay? He says, La'osam chalushe amuna. Those, of course, why are they written? They're written for people who are weak in their belief. Right? So again, sometimes we feel like a person needs proof. I need proof that HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Right? So you have a whole bunch of these type of svarim. Incredible. Mashiach. Yes, Mashiach. Okay. So he says you have these svarim that are written to prove the existence of God, and they're written again for people who are struggling with belief, and the goal is to solidify their belief. Ve'ikarayosa mina olam hein biriyaso chachmaso v'yechalto. So what are these svarim? Oh, Arba Kanfos Haaretz. This is like this is incredible. This is incredible. Yeah, something to do. Right. Also, the AA meeting will be meeting here right after the shir. So listen to this, Jeremy. I'm not going to ask where it's from. From the event. Got it. Beautiful. Yeah, it's a busha that we had left though. Yeah. Okay. I don't know how that happened. All right. So I'll say. So listen to this. So the Piagetson says that we write these svarim. Right. We write these svarim for those who are weaker in their amuna and need a little bit of bolstering. Now, what are they based on? Both say. So you think about this. These svarim that prove, quote unquote, prove the existence of God. So what is it based on? It's based on science, right? Rational thought. So again, it's based on what you're able to see, your wisdom and ability. And the Jews are both saying, you can make some compelling arguments. Come on. You look at the perfect order of the universe. You look at the perfect order of the human body. And how if one thing goes right, we say this in Asher Yatzar. What's the Yetzer Brach of Asher Yatzar? What is it in Asher Yatzar? Shemi pasech echamem o yizasem echamem. If there's an orifice in the body that's supposed to be closed and it opens, or something that's supposed to be open and it closes, done, right? And by that, if you think about it, that's what all of life comes down to. Something that's closed opens up. Something that's open closes up. That's done. You're done. So you think about these things on a rational. How could it be that just happened? That just occurred? That's just by chance? Doesn't make any sense. Va'im gam l'charayos ha'olam nechutzos hay vavoy. Piagetson says, this is the Piagetzon's book review. It's his book review, right, on these svarim. You know what I say about those svarim that try to prove God through science, rational thought? Hay vavoy. The translation of hay vavoy is oy vavoy, right? That's the translation, right? Oy vey. Piagetson says, I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong to try to go ahead and create a body of literature that is devoted to proving the existence of God through rational thought. This is why, and this is how we'll say, not for the reason you think. Watch this. He says, "Ha'im lo tishma v'lo sira ech nafshecha betucha b'riyasas Hashem u'medaberes ela b'nashanocha." So we'll say, the Piagetson says like this: the notion of these svarim, about proving the existence of God, is predicated on what? It's predicated on the idea that I don't possess belief, and I have to create belief. So I don't have it, I have to acquire it. So now that I have to acquire it, how? I have to think about it, rationalize it, analyze it. The Piagetson says the premise is fundamentally wrong. You don't have to acquire belief in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Just ask your neshama. Say, neshama, my neshama, do you believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu? You know what the neshama, do I believe? I talk to HaKadosh Baruch Hu every single day. I'm a piece of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I come from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I came from Hashem when I came down into this world, and I go back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu after 120. What are you talking about? do I believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu? There's no question. There's no question. It's understood in and of itself as a reality of existence. The Piagetna says, if you operate with the idea that I don't have emunah, and then I have to find emunah, that's a flawed premise. We all have emunah. Now, whether you're in touch with your emunah is a different discussion. And I will say, remember again, we've spent much time, right? We saw this already again in B'nai Machshava Tova also, about sometimes the greatest challenge in life is not being in touch with your neshama. And if you think about it, by the way, it's everything. If a person is not in touch with their neshama, that means their entire equilibrium is off. Everything is off. So my relationships are off. My ruchnius is off. Even my intellect, everything is off. The neshama is the core of everything I am. So if I'm not in sync with my neshama, then it creates a whole bunch of static in my life. So the Piagetna says, only a person who's not in touch with his neshama thinks that he doesn't have emunah and he has to go ahead and acquire it. But if I'm in touch with my neshama, the neshama says, look at his lashon over here. Hayim lo sishma v'lo sira. Have you not heard? Have you not seen? Eich nafshecha betucha biriyasa es Hashem u'midaberes ela b'lashon uchach. Your neshama sees HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Do you understand what that means? You understand what that means? You can't see Hashem. Right? One of the Yud Gimel, right? One of the 13 principles of faith of the Rambam is Ein Lo Guf. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu has no physical being, no corporeal, no physical being. So despite that, so I can't see Hashem. I could see Hashem in things, but I can't see HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Right? It's the interesting theological like conundrum. If somebody were to ask you, where is Hashem? What's the answer? Everywhere. So show me where is He? And right, good, right? In other words, I could say He's everywhere. You want me to point Him out in a room? I'm going to point Him out in a room. I can't point Him out in a room, but the neshama can see HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What's it? Do you know what that means? That every single day I see Hashem because my neshama is me and I am my neshama. And every single day my neshama talks directly to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, not in Shemona Esrei, has a conversation with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And every single day my neshama sees HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which means that every single day I have this direct, ocular, dialogical connection with the Ribono Shel Olam. Ato Hashem, hein betfilah, hein betishkasa, kevan shebe'emes roa hi osa yisbarach l'negei. The neshama doesn't see a manifestation of God. The neshama doesn't see a representation of God. The neshama doesn't just simply see HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in the beauty of nature. The neshama sees the Ribono Shel Olam Himself. Neshama sees HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ukishetzo'ekes mimachoveh lo ira ra ki ata imadi. And I will say, when the neshama knows pain, because the neshama doesn't know pain in this world. When the neshama knows pain, the neshama is able to deal with the pain. How? Because the neshama knows that it never suffers alone. Lo ira ra. I fear nothing in this world. I fear nothing. Why? Ki ato imadi. Because Baruch Hu, you're with me. You're with me. Now, when the guf says that, the guf kind of says it like, I believe it, but I'm still not sure. The neshama says it with an absolute sense of resoluteness, resolutkeit. Right? The neshama is unequivocally sure that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is with me. Why? Because the neshama sees Hashem. Because the neshama speaks to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There is no doubt. Look how he describes this. Ki'ilu kiviyachol ochazes b'kisei kevodo. For the neshama, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is so real that the neshama is able to hold on to the throne of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Listen, can you imagine that? Can you imagine what it means like to be able to hold on to like a leg of the chair of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's throne? So my guf can't see that. My guf can't experience that. But for my neshama, that's a reality. Vishav v'rapala. And because the neshama has that direct closeness, sees HaKadosh Baruch Hu, speaks to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, engages with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, holds on to the throne of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, therefore, the neshama never fears anything. The neshama's not afraid. The neshama's not afraid. And I will say, by the way, I want to point something out. You see this, by the way, you see this trait with people who are really in touch with their neshama. They don't get scared. They don't get scared. If you ever meet someone like this, I remember my grandfather Zichron Livracha was like this. That it's funny. My grandparents came to this country after the war, and they lost everything. Hitler, Yamach Shema V'Zichra, wiped out their entire families. So they settled in Hungary a little bit after the war, then they came here. They went to the Bronx a little bit. They quickly realized New York is just not the place. For anyone. Just Cloud Goggle. I know we have some New York listeners. But I think deep down they even agree with me. Still today. So they went to Vineland, New Jersey. My grandfather, Zichron Livracha, became a chicken farmer. So I remember as a kid, we never went to camp. We used to go to Vineland, New Jersey. My grandparents had like acres and acres of land, and there was a lake, and there was like, whatever, who needs camp when you have... So we used to walk to shul. As a kid, it felt like it was about 17 miles. I think it was a mile. But the way we had to walk was, there was a long way and a shortcut. The shortcut is, we walked through fields. Like my grandfather had a relationship with the farmers who were there. And Mom was like farmers. Like, it might be New Jersey, but you might as well be in like West Virginia. Like, it's the same sweet. They would always say good morning. They would say good morning, Mr. Rice. They'd always greet him when he came. But I remember so these guys had dogs. Okay, so you know my feelings about dogs. It could be that if I do a deep dive psychologically, it could, right? Is this coming out? We're here. So I remember as a kid, these were some wilde dogs. Because there were even people, they didn't have sheep, but like that, whatever, like dogs. And I remember my grandfather always saying, just don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. And I never understood it. Don't be, just stop it, right? Just stop it, right? Just don't be afraid. And then I realized that only once I got older, and really even once he was already nifter, that I realized that he was a tremendous Baal Emunah who never questioned the ways of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, despite having to face the worst horrors that humanity has ever seen. His whole life was taken from him. His family was taken from him. Everything was taken from him. But he had such rock-solid belief in HaKadosh Baruch Hu that he saw the Ribbon Shalom. He was in touch with his neshama. And when you're in touch with your neshama, the neshama sees Hashem, the neshama talks to Hashem, the neshama holds on to the Kisei HaKavod. What's there to be afraid of? The dog? You're afraid of the dog? That's what you're afraid of? You have HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He's right here. You could see him. You could touch him. You could feel him. When you're in touch with your neshama, that direct presence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu stills you. You're not scared. You're not anxious. You're not worried. That's when you meet people who have real ruchnis, we'll say, right? If you ever met great people, what's the home? I remember I had this. I've told the story. I've had this story one time, very quickly. One time when I was learning in Yeshiva in Eretz Yisrael, I was going back to America. I think I may have told you this story already. I went to get a bracha from Shlomo Zalman Arbach, Zecher Tzadik Livracha. And the way you used to get a bracha from Shlomo Zalman is you'd go to daven mincha by the Grosh Shul. All right, so I wasn't the only schnook to have this idea, right? So what happens? It's after mincha time. Reb Shlomo Zalman is mobbed. I was with my chavrusa. Said, all right, at least you got the opportunity to see a great tzaddik. So walking down the stairs, his gabbai, I remember it was like a South African gentleman. He said, do you want to speak to the Rav? I was with my chavrusa. I guess we kind of looked a little lost. He's like, yeah. We said, yes. He said, all right, get in. So he got in the car of Shlomo Zalman Arbach. And it was one of these Israeli subcompacts, the kind that are illegal to sell in every other country in the world. Right? There is a back seat, but there really shouldn't be a back seat there. There should just be like a front seat and a trunk. That's all. But right, so this was 25, more than 25 years ago, quarter of a century ago. Incredible. So he got on Shlomo Zalman Arbach, and I remember he was sitting in the front seat. He turned around to us. I couldn't talk. He's the Gadol Hadar. Shlomo Zalman was the Gadol Hadar. Couldn't speak. So my chavrusa spoke. And then he invited us into his house. And he gave just a very beautiful bracha. But what I remember most about that encounter was the overwhelming feeling of tranquility. You just felt a serenity. My whole life I've been looking for that serenity and I have not been able to find it. It was just so serene. in that moment. Sometimes during Kabbalah Shabbos, I feel that serenity again. And I never understood, why is that the feeling that you feel in front of a gadol? And what's the answer? It makes a lot of sense. That's the Piaget's saying, because a gadol is someone who's in touch with his neshama. He's in touch with his soul. Right? Because he's in touch with his soul, he sees HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Because he sees Hashem, he doesn't worry about anything. Chavra, can you imagine going through the day not worrying about anything? Not worrying about anything. Not worrying about your parnasa. Not worrying about your kids. Not worrying about your health. Not worrying about your happiness. Not worrying about Klal Yisrael. Can you imagine just going through the day without a worry on your mind? So the tzaddik has that. As much as the tzaddik carries Klal on his shoulders, right? The tzaddik, he has a certain level of life serenity that no one else has because of the neshama. So the Rebbe goes on, he says like this. He goes on, he says, Ubatal, he says, Omeres Anna Hashem, Ukishikosefes, Umishtapachas Lefanov, Omeres, Anna Hashem, Karveni Elecha, Ubateles Atzmi Umahusi Becha, Ki Teshukasi Elecha Gedola. And then Hashem says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, just bring me to you. Just bring me to you. I don't want any more distance. I don't want any more separation. Just bring me close to you. That's all that I want. So the Rebbe says, you don't need, he goes on, he says, Ume'ata, lama lecha rayos michutz la'atzmecha mitzios yisbarach. So let me get this straight. So you're going to read a book about scientific theory that proves the existence of God. So the Rebbe says, so understand what you're doing. You're going outside of yourself to go ahead and solidify a truth that you already know within yourself. But I'm not in touch enough with my inner self to be able to know that truth. So instead I'm going outside of myself to be able to ascertain that truth. Let's say, is that not incredible? Is that not incredible? When the Rebbe says it, he's right. He's right. So I'm picking up all of these books, all these, which I will say again, are beautiful, and I want to be clear. They, of course, they help so many people. There are many people who, again, find HaKadosh Baruch Hu through the intellect. Of course. Obviously, the Piagetna doesn't believe in this Mahalech because he feels it's fundamentally, wholly, and totally unnecessary, and he feels it's a circuitous route to finding HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Why are you going outside of yourself to be able to discover the existence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu when that reality exists fundamentally and with unequivocal clarity within yourself? So instead of reading more books, what do I need to do? I need to get in touch with my inner me. How do I get on the same frequency as my neshama? How do we align, right? How do we connect? How do we, let's say it's always like lahavda, like if you're going into your car, right? Or you have a rental car and you want to put your phone, right, on Bluetooth. So what do you have to do? Pair it. Right? You have there's chachma in the world. You got to pair it. So I've always thought that's this tremendous mushah. It's interesting. I don't know what it is. Sometimes pairing takes longer, and sometimes it's just like that. Right? It's funny, right? It's funny. Like sometimes it doesn't work the first time. I don't know, maybe I rent cheap cars. Whatever. It doesn't work the first time, right? Then it works the second time. You have to pair it. So we'll say and it could be maybe I don't know how it. I don't know. Jeremy would know how it works. I don't know how it works. You have to. I know this is probably ridiculous. I feel like I sometimes just hold my phone closer to me. I think this is it. And like that. I think this is right. It's like I always say, what? Just sometimes you could pair quickly, and sometimes you can't. But the interesting part is you just got to pair. And it's incredible. I always say, like that moment, it's interesting, right? The moment that your phone pairs with the car, what happens? It's incredible, right? Me and the automobile, we're one, right? He has all my contacts, right? He has all of my text messages, all of my WhatsApps, all of my emails. He knows, he has my Waze now and my Google Maps, so he knows where I've been and he knows where I'm going, right? Everything, right? In that moment of pairing, everything connects. Piagetna says, I have to pair with my neshama. That's what's missing in life. Listen, at the end of the day, you want to know that gaping hole that you feel? And we all have it. We just, a lot of times, just suppress it, or just ignore it, or just band-aid it, or medicate it, or whatever we do in order to just avoid it. But that hole that's there is because I'm not paired. And if I could just figure out the way to get into the right frequency and pair my neshama, pair myself with my neshama, a whole new world opens. Yes. It's really, it's everything. In other words, it's your head, it's your body, it's your intellect, it's your emotions. It's everything but your neshama. So all the pieces of you, besides your soul, you want to pair all of that. Because often without the pairing, my intellect goes one way, my emotions go a different way, and I'm a mess. It's correct. However, I think people pair in different ways. Some people absolutely pair through meditation. Some people pair through learning. Some people pair through chesed. I don't think there's one mechanism for the pairing. But I think a lot of times in life what we end up doing is we engage in beautiful, meaningful behaviors, but we never take the time to pair. So because of that, we're living life kind of like in this disalignment. And because it's that disalignment, therefore, again, I feel like I don't have emunah. Meanwhile, I have so much emunah, I just need to pair with the neshama to be able to access it. He says, therefore, mi'ata, lama lecha ra'ayos michutz la'atzmecha. What are you looking, right? As the famous, some people, what's the famous Maimar Chazal? Looking for love in all the wrong places. Right? All right, Billy Nelson, right? So sometimes people are also like looking for God in all the wrong places. In other words, that like, and again, I want to be clear. You always have to be careful. Always have to be careful to like never chas v'shalom like disparage other people's mahalchim in their avodas Hashem. There are people for whom like these scientific, like hashkafic theological books like are transformative, right? And great. It's obviously wasn't the Piaget's cup of tea, right? It wasn't his cup of I don't know what the Piaget's drank.
Borscht.
Borscht, no, we're not beer. Slivovich. Bourbon. Wasn't his cup of arak. He definitely didn't have arak. He definitely have arak. I know. I just say vodka. It could be. Whatever it is. So I'll say. So the point over here is the Piaget's says, and I will say, by the way, just what a redeeming concept. And what I don't have to find emunah. See, sometimes I think like I'm bereft. I'm an empty vessel, and I just need to fill up. Here's just no. You're great. You're just not paired. And if you somehow get your neshama and the rest of you in alignment, the neshama which sees God, speaks to God, dialogues with God, holds on to the kisei hakavod every single day, the existence and the reality of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to become abundantly, luminescently clear. He goes on, he says, Im nafshecha kol kach betucha, biriyasa osa yisparach, Shlomo Melech machriz va'omer, chachmos b'chotz tarona. Shlomo Melech says, wisdom should literally sing its song on the outside. Now I will say, and I have to understand, what does that mean? So Shlomo Melech is saying, essentially, wisdom has no place on the inside. Wisdom should be on the outside. I will say, now understand the profundity of that. Shlomo Melech was the chacham mikol adam, right? No one was smarter than Shlomo Melech. And I will say, amazingly enough, with all of that wisdom, Shlomo Melech understood, it's not intellectual wisdom that is going to bring you closer to God. It never does. It never does. I will say, right? By the way, you see it even like in Gemara. Right? I will say, so sometimes like you do it, like today we had a great daf, and you get like a good gishmak out of that daf. I will say, which Gemaras do you get the greatest high from? The greatest high? Yavamas. Agarata. Why I will say? Because whereas the beauty of Gemara is that it exercises the intellect every single day, Agarata doesn't really exercise the intellect. Agarata exercises the neshama. And I will say, it's incredible. So the Piagetna says, so Shlomo Melech says, Chachmas b'chutz Torah. Sometimes, you know what? Why don't you tell intellect to leave the building? Tell intellect to go sing its song, which is beautiful, but tell it to sing outside. Mi pesi yusarheina chasrale va'amralo. Mi shetzarch lechachmas chutz lahavi rayos michutz li'atzmo min ha'olam. So the Piagetna interprets this very beautifully. Literally, Shlomo says, Chachmos b'chutz Torah, which literally means wisdom should sing on the outside. So the Piagetna describes it as Mi shetzarch chachmas chutz. Whoever needs external language to bring proof about the existence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Pesi v'chasralefu, is foolish. Why go outside yourself to find something that exists within yourself? Wow. So I'll say, anything and everything I need to be successful in life, I already have. It's in me. HaKadosh Baruch Hu created us, we'll say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu created us like with the toolkit. The toolkit is there. It's there. The shaila just is under how many layers of like life. What's the right word? schmutz, right? I was going to use debris, right? Debris sounds a little nicer, right? Under how many layers, right? Under how many layers of just like life debris is it is? Because we'll say, you know what ends up happening? I make mistakes, I make wrong turns, and when I don't correct them, all of that stuff, it's like spiritual plaque. Like it just keeps building up and building up and building up and building up. And I'll say, and meanwhile, so sometimes it builds up so much that I don't even see what's beneath it anymore. But the Piagetna says, how foolish is it to use external knowledge, to use knowledge that is outside of you, to find that which already exists inside of you. Kim hayalo leiv az es hakol milibo ra'aviyada. I'll say, really, if I just took a little bit of time to get in sync, to pair with my neshama, I would realize how much my neshama already knows. And I wouldn't need any wisdom outside of me. I just want to point out something interesting as well, which is that it could very well be that really what the Piagetna is saying on a deeper level as well is it could even be with Torah. And that it could even be that as powerful as Torah is, maybe I don't need Torah in order to be able to believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Now let me qualify that statement, right? Of course we need Torah, right? Torah teaches us how to live. Torah teaches us what to do. Torah regulates our behaviors. Without Torah, I wouldn't know right from left, and I would not know right from wrong. I will say, we see what humanity does when humanity relies on its own definitions of right and wrong. If you don't have a divinely based system of right and wrong, tameh and tahar, kosher and treif, you could commit the worst atrocities and think that you're doing the right thing. So of course I need Torah. I will say what the Piaget is describing is, but maybe, for emunah purposes, emunah I could find within myself. Now, the shaila is how you pair, right? So one could pair ultimately again through Torah, one could pair through chesed, or one could pair through meditation, one could pair through a variety of different ways. But everything I need for my emunah, it's in me. So stop looking to figure out your emunah with sources external, and start figuring out how to pair with the neshama. And once that happens, once that pairing happens, everything falls into place. Let's go back to a little bit. We have another minute? Everybody is okay if we go another minute? Sure. Okay, we'll do another minute and then we'll stop. I just want to begin your Dalit. Your Dalit is an incredible. 2 minutes? Baruch Hashem, good. I'll take it. So first of all, L'chaim to section Yud Gimel. I'll say, no, there's sometimes if you learn a piece of Torah, and even if you don't fully understand it, you say to yourself, I'm not even fully sure what happened there, but I'm almost positive that my life just changed in a dramatic way. So we'll say that's what the Rebbe does for us. I have to still absorb this. I must say again, I learned this today. It's like I'm still absorbing it. So I don't even know that I fully understand the complete profundity, but I do know that my life just changed forever with this piece. That I know now that suddenly I've spent my whole life looking for things outside of me, when in fact I've been looking in all the wrong places, and I need to shift the search inside. If I could just pair, everything comes together. All right, so I'll say.
It's kind of like Mesilas Yesharim.
What do you mean?
With the whole idea of, I'm not teaching you anything that you don't already know.
Right. Nothing new. And I think even the Piagetna would say, I'm not teaching you anything new over here. I think for us, a lot of this stuff is new. I think what was pasha for the Piagetna. So I'll say,
the question is how. That's what I'm
how to pair.
Yeah.
Good.
That's what I'm
so obviously now remember. So now that right. Hold your phone close to the car radio. That's how it works. Right? So I'll say. So now obviously that's the $1 million question. So now, okay, I understand the principle. How do I pair? Okay, so we'll say so that. We'll stop here for tonight. All right, I'll give you coming attractions. Is that your question?
Wait.
All right, 2 more minutes. Good, fine. I got 5. Right? So we should find the time on Shavuos.
Could we do a Shavuot between 3:45
on Thursday night? Matzah Yantiv?
Even if we do Wednesday night, like something.
Okay.
Could we
I'm up for the challenge. All right, let me think about this.
By the way,
All right.
I'll just say that now after that.
Yeah,
But if
yeah.
we do it, I'm just saying, if we do it
Unless
Tuesday
you
night,
do
if we
Tuesday
do
night.
Tuesday night,
Erev Yantiv.
then now we're fresh.
No. Erev Yantiv. Tuesday night. Oh no.
Yantiv.
Monday night. Oh, you
No.
mean the night of Yantiv?
Tuesday night.
So
We'll be up anyway.
You're like 40 years younger than me. I'm telling you. Yeah. It's got a lot of energy. All right. No, but you know what? I'm up for the challenge. I'm up for the
We're gonna
challenge.
be up anyways, right?
We're gonna be up anyways.
Anyways, over Chag.
Yeah.
We should
He
do.
already has a share. You don't get the email.
Yeah, it's okay. Good. You know what? Don't
Pregame
rain on this. Don't rain on this. We're gonna pregame. We're gonna pregame. All right. So listen. Let me just give you coming attractions. Coming attractions for next week. Right? 'Cause what's next week? Oh no, next week is Matzei Yantiv.
2 weeks.
Okay. So we'll say. So take a look. Look at your dollar. So we'll say. And this is it. And this goes to Ellie's question and will help us understand. Ritzon chalamot es atzmacha v'ladas im alisa al chas v'shalom yaradita v'meshach shana oshnasayim sha'avru. So we'll say, the Piagetna says, the biggest question sometimes I ask myself about life is, am I going in the right direction? And how do I measure if I'm going in the right direction? So the Rebbe says, Histakil birtzoncha. This is how I will say. I'm going to translate this now, but we're not going to get into it. The Piagetna says, the metric for success is not what you do, but rather it's what you want. What do you want out of life? Avarak birtzoncha, v'lo beberchasecha, but only with what you want and not with your brachas. I'm going to leave you on that cliffhanger. What that means. So again, and this is going to be the section. This is going to be the section again to answer the next section. The next section is Rabbi Eli's answer about how we pair. How we pair. We're going to be continued. We're going to try to get something in over Shavuos. Is everyone here in walking distance of the shul?
Growing up, I used to have to walk 3 miles.
3 miles.
Everything.
It was uphill both ways.